faces, lots of old faces. Great to see some of you joining twice this week for the double welfare. So welcome. 69, if we could just keep it at 69, that would be for the culture. That would be perfect. Thank you very, very much. Okay, let's get things started. How are we doing, everyone? Hope everyone's good. Shout out to our new community members since Monday. We're coming up to nearly 2,000 more new weirdos since we last spoke. So hello to all of you, and we've had a bunch of you join from other projects too. We've had a load of collaborations with other projects with the weirdos. So we've got Cyber Snails here, who joined us from their alpha server in big numbers about a day ago. So welcome to all of you guys. Illiquid Capital, another cool alpha insight group. They joined us late yesterday too. So wello to all of you. Catabolics are here. We like the cats. They've got a Genesis collection just like we do, which is cool. They're trading really nicely on OpenSea. Other decentralized Web3 marketplaces are available. We also have a collab with members from the Boss Beauties Alpha group. So shout out to Oblivious and the gang that they've pulled across from one of my favorite projects in this space. So full disclosure, I'm enormously biased here. I'm a verified holder, and I have one of the cleanest doctor bosses in the entire collection, which is a tribute to my wife, who is a hospital consultant IRL, which is a semi-docs alert one more time. I'm also going to the Boss Beauties exhibition tomorrow night at the Adidas flagship store in London. So if anyone is looking to full docs, then I may see you there. So now we're on to a giveaway, and we do this every AMA now. This is starting to become a bit of a thing of mine. I'm just going to set it up as we're talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a very quick rat milk contest for 2 mils, and it's going to be for everyone in the crowd mainly, and it's going to last for 3 minutes, and it's going to be in the Rumble Royale channel right now. So head to Rumble Royale, click the button. Anyone who's on the call, this is your early reward for being here on time. Thanks for joining us. Get yourself over there now. There's 2 mils in Rumble Royale. So how about it, guys? Now, on to a recap of what's going on across the wider Weirdoverse. There's a lot to take in. We do a lot of stuff. We're trying to keep things as varied and interesting as possible. So what we like to do is just do a quick repeat of all our upcoming games and events and our schedule from announced on Monday, but for the rest of the week. So all the times I'm going to tell you about here are listed in UK time, which is UTC. But if you go back to Monday's announcement in the announcements channel, all the times listed there are in your local time zone. Very clever. So go and check that out and see if you can make what we're doing. And if you can't, don't worry. We change this every week and we mix it up so that everyone gets a chance to do stuff, play, have fun, win things, win milk, win cream list, all of the above. So later this evening, Wednesday at 11 p.m., we have bingo, weird bingo. New thing that we're trialing this week. If it works, great, we'll keep it. If it doesn't, sod it, we'll get rid of it. We'll see. Bingo later today, so we'll give you some registration details fairly soon for that, so you can get yourself set up on the website before we start and get rid of all the admin, get that out of the way. Then tomorrow, a staple of the week, we have poker night. So we have 2 poker sessions because it's super popular. Everyone wants to play, but not everyone can play when we call it. So tomorrow at 9 p.m. UK UTC, we have our first Poker Now tournament of the week, which I will host, and we will throw as many tournaments on as we have people interested. So I think it's 200 maximum per tournament, and we've got 20 tables, 10 per table. If we have more than 200 people interested, I'll throw 2 tournaments or 3 tournaments, 4, whatever it takes. We'll get everyone sat at a table and get them playing poker. We're going to do the same again Friday morning at 6:30 a.m. UK time. So that's more of a West Coast USA friendly or late DGen East Coast America thing. Or if you're out in the East, it might suit you in the daytime as well. But we're just trying to give everyone a chance to sit and play Texas Hold'em. Then just jumping quickly back to Thursday, tomorrow night, we've got a Twitter Spaces, which Kerno Cream and myself are going to run from our Weirdos Twitter account. So no guests, just me and Kerno, just the two of us, just chopping it up. But really, it's a entry-level conversation into the project, just going back to the very beginning. What is the Weirdos? Really just sell what this is all about to the outside world, not so much for you hardcore engaged community on the call now, but we'd love to have you over there because we will try and keep it interesting for people who do know what we're about. But the idea is, here are the key things that you need to know, and come and join us and come and hit the server. It's the most fun server in Web3, or at least we like to think it is. Come and find out for yourself. And that's going to be the reason we're on the spaces and doing stuff in here on the Weirdoverse stage. Okay, so come and join us. It'll be fun. We'll do some giveaways as well. And then Friday, all day, the Weird Carnival. We've got the Carnival. It's basically mini games all day long. You've seen we've got the Rumble Royale channel now. You've seen we've got all manner of things that we do in the Milk Games channel. We're just going to run games all day in Milk Games. It's as simple as that. We are blessed to have such a A-list crew of moderators now, so we are able to run stuff around the clock. So it doesn't matter which time zone you're in, it'll be active in there. We'll be playing stuff. We've got some classic games, a lot of them from Humble, one of our OG mods, who's come up with. She's the brainchild behind a number of our staple games like Guess the Animal Butt. So if you want to give anyone credit for the Animal Butt game, go and drop some praise for Humble in the chat, because it was one of my favorites when I came across it. It was one of my favorite things to research and call it work. So we're going to do stuff like that. We're going to do zoomed in weirdos. We're going to ask you some questions about the Genesis weirdos from their bios on the either on OpenSea or on our website. You can check them all out, and always go and check out our Genesis collection. If you want to get fired up about the cloning event, go and look at the Genesis. They are absolutely one and the same thing. And I know that's one of the big questions out there in the community is, when are we going to see the sneak peek? Trust me, when you see it, which will be soon, you will not believe what we're doing. It is unreal what we're doing with the cloning event. It is incredible. So we're going to do games all day. We're going to have chances for creamless spots. We're going to mainly throw milk around just like it's going out of fashion, which it's not. In fact, if anything, our production is increasing every week on Rodentia Farms. So stick around, have some fun on Friday. We've got a fan art competition on Saturday. Oh, and of course, just earlier today, we announced our new cooking contest, Wait My Plate. Wait My Plate started today. So I don't know if anybody is familiar with the old Facebook classic Rate My Plate, but on Rate My Plate, it all started out as a bit of a serious thing where people shared all their dishes and people were commenting under it and rating how good those meals were. And it basically became a parody and a meme because some of the dishes were so horrific that you really were in it for the comment section. So that's what we're trying to recreate here. We want the comment section to come alive. We want the most horrific abominations, awful creations that you can put together. Prove that it's you. Drop it into our Wait My Plate channel. We're going to dish out some prizes if you can show us what you can create. So head yourself over to the announcements channel and Wait My Plate. Take a submission and then some prizes there as well. And then Sunday, kind of a rest day to some extent in the community, but we're also focused pretty hard on our faction challenge. So if you've been around for a while, you know what the faction challenge is. It's really simple. Basically, we have the weirdos and we have the state, which you know now. If you join one of those sides, you are part of the faction. You are a weirdo or you are the state, and you get the role within your server bio as well. So really important that you do that for two reasons. Number one, you can take part in the website milking game, which if you head to our Weirdos website now, you'll be able to see it. You may have already played it twice at this point. You might even be on cooldown. If so, brilliant, great. Let's keep you going. But you're earning milk for your faction by doing that. So please keep playing the game. It is really important to your faction that you earn that milk. The second reason it's really important is because you joining your faction and recruiting people to your faction gives you more benefits. So the weekly faction challenge is a proportional growth challenge. If your faction grows by a larger percentage than the other faction, you will win more prizes. You'll win more cream lists. You'll win more milk raffles dedicated in your faction channel that the other faction can't see. So super important that you see people coming into the lodge with got lots of partners dropping, we've got lots of collabs, we've got loads of people. Like I say, 2,000 people since we last spoke on Monday, something in that region. So they all need a faction. They all need some place to go. Why shouldn't they join yours? What are you doing about that? Bring them to your team, earn some prizes with them. It's a cool way to get into the whole Weirdoverse in the first place, and it gets people engaged with the website and what we're doing across the server. So that is the faction challenge, and we'll do an update on that on Sunday. It's not the end of the challenge, but it will give you a sense of who's winning, who needs to sort their campaigns out and take it from there. So on to a couple of other announcements from me, and then I'll rip into all the AMA questions which came into the channel earlier. So one thing about feedback and our channel structure. So what did I do? I ran a review a few days ago with a focus group from our OG community here in the server. We asked them to tell us how they're feeling and what we can do to keep the original spirit of the community alive as we grow. And just to put that into some context, some of us have been here since the very beginning. This server was 50 people large, 100 people large, 200. And the Genesis collection's as small as you've probably seen on OpenSea or on the website. And it felt like a really small, intimate place. But look at us now, we're at 16,000 community members. It's amazing. It's going to feel more amazing in 2 weeks' time. We hope that we double in that time, as we start heading towards the club event. So as we continue to grow, how do we maintain that original essence of it feeling really cool, fun, weird, focus on the conversations, focus on getting to know people, really keep that essence and that spirit of what we're all about alive as we grow and as we get towards something really special down the line. One of the big things that we heard really loud and clear was the need to have space in the server that is a totally milk-free zone. So no milk chat, no when milk, no begging, no pinging mods for contests or anything like that, just good old-fashioned conversations, nothing more at all. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to start with a few channels offering topics of conversation. And you're going to see that come under a new revamped section, which we're calling the retreat. In fact, we've already called it the retreat. It's in one of our categories as you scroll down our channels now. The retreat from now on will be a milk-free zone altogether. Okay, so we'll announce this more formally over the next day or so. So you don't have to take this as the only time you'll hear this. This isn't really welfare. We'll post this in announcements and get it out there. But this is going to be the place you step away from the grind. So mods will warn you if you chat milk in the retreat. Okay, they'll make sure that it maintains its vibe as the escape from games and contests. Some people are telling us that they feel the grind of that activity, and much as it's been really fun and we've really generated some amazing feedback from you guys about what we're doing in this space, and it's really humbling to hear all that stuff. We've had some wonderful comments in the last week, particularly around what we're building, and it's thank you so much for everything that you're feeding back to me. But some people have said that it can feel like a grind at times, getting their hands on creamless spots and accumulating milk, and that's why we've created the retreat. Okay, that's really important to quite a few of us. So like I said, the mods will warn you if you chat milk in the retreat. We just want to provide something for everyone here. So whatever your interest, if you're looking to just hang and break from the creamless conversation, we'll ping you when it's all set up and ready for you. But we'll run with a few categories to start with, a few topics to get the whole space vibing in the right way. But that's what the retreat is going to be for you. It's going to be your place to lay down the milking instruments, okay? Put down your mat, your rat, stop the tweaking of the teats, and just get to know people, okay? It'd be great to hear your feedback as we start rolling that out as well, if that's working or if we could do different topics. We'll take votes on this stuff as well so that people are getting the opportunity to have their say, but also talk about the things that really matter to them, whether that's crypto, sport, films, travel, books, book club, you name it. Just bring it to us. We'll consider it. We've got a broad church next to the farm at Redentia. So please, we want to use it. Quick one, a very boring one, unfortunately, but we've just got a quick update, security and multi-accounting as well. So CryptoJack made a couple of announcements over the last 24 hours. Scammers, let's start with scammers. Dozens have been kicked out of the server, thank you to the bounty program, which we announced yesterday. So big shout out to all of you for all your efforts for reporting scammers. unfortunately, it feels like for every one that we boot out, we see 2 more return in their place. And so we decided we need to just take a step back and work through our tech solution, which is in play, but we're focused on getting that out there as quick as possible. You can still send us information on scammers, but we're pulling back the reward program partly because it felt to us like the problem needed to be addressed by a much bigger solution. So I hope that makes sense, that we're on it, we're dealing with it. We really, really want to keep you guys safe and the project safe as we continue to grow. So it's just a major focus area for the project team right now. On to multi-accounters, we discussed this on Monday's AMA as well, so I don't want to hammer this point home, but we have dealt with dozens of multi-accounters and continue to do so. Many of these are very, very easy for us to spot, and if you fall into this category, it's probably sensible to just declare it with us before we have to come to you, okay? So we want to work out the best solution for all of you, but consider this another warning. We've said our piece, but we have a list of people that we're working through. It'd be great if you came to us. We could find some amnesty solution for what's going on in your particular situation. So consider it a final warning. Right, on to the community. Oh, hang on, Humble. I just didn't see you there. I saw your hand up just now. Hey, how's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Wello.
Wello. Thanks for having me on. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. And sorry, I'm sort of going out of order. I just have a minute right now. Some of our friends were not able to get any rat milk because we had more than 75 people who popped in here. So I'm going to run another one. I'll tell you where that is in just 1 minute. The other thing I wanted to mention, if any of you are OGs, so that means you already hold a season 1, 2, or 3 token, and you have access to our gated channel, we're doing a little March Madness. So make sure you pop in there for March Madness. For those of you who are from the other side of the pond, it's something we do in America where we stop all of our work and we only follow basketball for this next month. So if you're an OG, pop in. It's really easy to fill out the form, and we're going to have some prizes, and we'll be keeping track of it for the next month. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, we love when you guys suggest games. Some of you have offered to host games. Keep tagging us if you want to host a game. Let us know if you have an idea. We love it. We love when our community members lead games. It's really fun for everyone, and as you guys all know, less work for me makes me happier. So just loving having all of you guys here. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to just pop in right now. I'm going to pop a quick milk contest with another milk bot. I'm going to put it in bot commands, and I'm only going to do it for 20 seconds. So that's all I have for you right now. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Thanks, Humble. Thank you very much. I will 100% be filling out a March Madness bracket. I've been doing that in various different forms for years and years. I'm terrible at it. I used to just pick Duke to win it every year, and it never came through until quite recently. So yeah, I'm not gonna be winning it, but I'm very, very keen and very enthusiastic. Gonzaga for the win, right? Every year now, Gonzaga.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll run something now. We'll do some cool prizes to go with that because that's a hard thing to get right. Okay, so let's do something cool to go with that. I'll have a chat with the guys in the team around what we can offer, but we'll do something a little bit different for that one because it runs for a little while, and it'd be great to see some winners get something really meaningful out of that too. So we'll try and think about the prizes, and we'll announce that separately and shortly. So yeah, stick with us on that one. Cool. Okay, on to our AMA questions. So I wrote down a bunch of stuff before I jumped on the stage. So if you've been posting in there during the AMA, I might miss you initially, but we've got some time at the end and we can wrap up and keep things rolling. So just to quickly wrap up some of the themes, we went through a very similar conversation on Monday. Now I appreciate that many of you either couldn't make it on Monday or you've joined the community since Monday, so this might all be completely new. So we're not going to completely shut down the questioning, but I am going to wrap it up in a fairly high level way on that basis, because we've got a recording from Monday which we'll share with you as well, and I want to just keep things fresh and onto as many new topics and give as many new people a chance to talk. So we've got a lot of questions this week around utility of the project, so I'm just going to read them all out, and then we'll address utility as a general conversation as we start moving forwards, right? So one of the questions was from someone called Juan, who said, I most want to know the empowerment of rat milk and the specific planning in the future. This is very important to the development of the whole project. And then Leek says, now the development momentum of the project is very fierce. Is there a greater surprise in some future activities? Again, hinting at what we're doing beyond the mint. One of our OGs, Beamer, said, what's the ultimate utility behind the project? Not sure I've heard it described as the ultimate utility, but yeah, ultimate utility behind the project. We've got another one that says, the current roadmap is not very detailed. Most people don't know about the future direction of this project and the goals to be accomplished. When will we have an update or an explanation on this? Camp also asks, can you tell us more about Project W, please? And we have got another one here that says, has the project considered developing GameFi? Are there any benefits for holders after the mint? Okay, so lots and lots of you are asking questions around utility post-mint. I've got a few things I want to say about this. I'll wrap up as quickly as I possibly can. I know we've got a couple of the project team in the audience as well, who I might invite up to have a little say for themselves on this as well. We've got, who have we got? I think Crypto Jack and Kerno are in the audience. We'll get them up in a minute. But look, the start to that answer from my perspective, it's a very easy question for now. But we strongly believe on the team, hinting at roadmap items at this point, this far out from the mint, is very unhealthy for the collection and the community, okay? Roadmap items start raising expectations and are baked into the prices as collectors start to speculate. From my experience, this ends badly. I could name several projects that have promised the complete roadmap bingo, all of it. I could tell you dozens of projects that have released an NFT collection, and on the website straight away you can see merch, airdrops, follow-up collections, a metaverse, an ERC20 token, a DAO, films, books, anything you can think of, all of it sometimes, all in the same collection. And the price of the NFT collection tanks. It doesn't necessarily equate to a healthy project to have your entire roadmap listed out weeks before a generative project, okay? That's my take, that's my experience. I think the project team largely agree with that. I mean, I'm talking from my perspective here when I say that, but my view is that our focus right now in terms of talking to you is mainly focused on the cloning event and the generative, in part because the core value proposition, which is the generative token at the heart of it, doesn't change by the roadmap. So first and foremost, our goal is to create a generative NFT collection that everyone wants to buy and own as their PFP on the internet. Simple as that. And if you look at the top tier, the absolute S tier PFP projects in this space, people want them because it is a flex to own that PFP, not because of the airdrop that comes after it, not because of the merch that necessarily follows up after it, and not because of any spin-offs of things that can utilize the IP. They're all really interesting and they're all really important in the long run. It is worth saying that this project is several months in the making, where there is a mature roadmap. The team have a roadmap. They have utility plans. It's not being shared today for those reasons. So no concrete sharing of it in the AMA for that reason, for good reason. We do want to focus on the generative, and trust me, when you see the generative, we are absolutely certain is going to match your expectations of what a top tier PFP would look like. Kerno, Crypto Jack, you've joined me on the stage. Is there anything you guys want to build on the utility conversation as we start to wrap up that general topic?
I think you've summarized it incredibly well. Jack and I have been on a number of hello everyone. Good to be here. Wello. So Jack and I have been on a number of AMAs with alpha groups and other projects, and this is one of the most regular questions. We will, there will be a little bit more information forthcoming, but I think the most exciting thing, and I'm speaking as someone who absolutely intends to be a collector as well as a member of the team here. I'm just so pumped about the generative collection. And I know you've touched upon this, Cheadle, but I think it is such a red flag when you are building up to an event that is so important to the team, or should be so important to the team, and they're already talking about hoodies in 3 months. Like, come on, have some pride. Get really excited about the artwork that if you actually believe in it, get really excited about the artwork you're about to drop. The collection that we've built is, behind the scenes, incredibly complex. What you are going to be presented with is something that is like no other PFP project that's come before it, and we genuinely believe that we're going to reset the bar and reset the standards in this space. It's going to feel closer to 9,272 one-of-one pieces than, there's factions and there's factions within factions. So we understand the desire to understand long-term utility. We would point towards what we hope you feel we're already delivering, and in some ways out of respect for Matt, the artist, but also the technological complexity and the hard work that's going in from the grumpy tech guys. We want to give the art the moment in the spotlight that we feel it deserves. I've jokingly said that it's like you're about to, you're the coach of the football team that's about to step out for the Super Bowl, and someone asks you who you're looking to draft next season. Like, for fuck's sake, what about today? Like, what about the Super Bowl? What about the game in front of us? And that's how I feel. I'm excited to continue with the analogy. I'm excited to watch my players walk out. I'm excited to see how the crowd respond, and excited to win the game. I just can't wait for that reveal moment.
I feel like running out to play the Super Bowl right now, having heard that. So I'm gonna go back on mute because Jack's around and I can calm down.
Yeah, I guess, look, I can totally understand how some of the answers that we've given you might seem kind of evasive, or we're not being totally straight with you, but they really do come from a totally genuine place. Our intent over the last 6 months has been to build trust between the collectors, you guys, our community, the project team, and what we've been trying to do, and hopefully it's been noticeable, but what we've been trying to do is push the bar at every single stage and not shout about it. We didn't tell you we were going to build a rat milk game on the website where you'd be able to go and milk rats and have amazing collector experience. We didn't tell our community when we launched a one-of-one collection on our own website, on our own smart contract. Those are all things that happened without the community being kind of signaled that they were going to happen. But we've been using those kind of those steps, those proofs of execution to build trust with this community, and we hope that goes a lot further and builds a lot more credibility in our team than if we were a team that turned up and were working on this project for a month, spun up some PFPR, told you we were going to do a play to earn game, told you we were going to do a cartoon. Like, we're very realistic about the items that we are planning to do beyond the mint. They're hard to do, difficult things to do, and we're determined to execute on them. But we're not going to get you all pumped and excited just by kind of promising those things. We want you to look at the things that we're kind of delivering today and see those things as us building a relationship between the community and the founders and the builders, that kind of will endure beyond the mint. And what we can say is that we're going to keep doing exactly what we have been doing. We're going to be building amazing stuff. We're going to be pushing the boundaries as we will with the generative, and we're going to be incredibly focused on delivering value to this community. It's all that matters to us. If we're not doing that, then it's not worth us spending, I don't even know how many hours a day we're spending doing this at the moment, but a lot of hours every day kind of trying to drive towards that point. And with the team's just got such a strong track record. Some of you here in the audience, I can see with Megapont PFPs, the technical teams from Megapont, they've done nothing but deliver, enduring value, growth in, the financial value of the collection, as well as kind of just the kind of like other non-financial utilities. So I don't want to labor the point, but like, we're here for the long term. Intent is to deliver value. We think we're proving it now before you've even minted. We intend to continue to prove it and surprise you beyond the mint.
Love it. Love it. Okay. If we're going to get back onto the generative then, there is a question from CryptoBoss, who was on stage with us on Monday, who asked, can you explain the cloning process from the roadmap? That would be great. Did not really understand how the cloning event is supposed to take place.
So I guess I think I understand the question. So the cloning event is just what we're calling the generative mint. In terms of why it's like the narrative and why we refer to it as the cloning event, obviously you can see from the storyline that there are two great factions coming together in some kind of global battle royale, perhaps we could call it. And they're both launching and producing their two cloned armies. Now, you look through the Genesis collection, you'll notice that there's kind of a number of very strong characteristics in that collection. And what we'll see in the collection of clones is a number of sub-factions which mirror a lot of the characteristics that you will see in the Genesis collection. I don't think it's a secret, but I'll read out some of the sub-factions. So I've been working with Matt on them today. We've got punks and war boys, cat people, reptilians, cyclops, pterodactyls. So that's just kind of a smattering. Is that a word? That's just a small set of the 14 sub-factions that are going to emerge, cloned from the original Genesis collection.
What you call it is Walfa, Jack.
That was Walfa.
Yeah, it was Walfa. You've just described the factions for the first time, I think, to the audience. So if you're in the chat, you've been exposed to at least the names of the faction collections that we're about to run with in the cloning events. Super exciting stuff. Super exciting.
Yeah, some of them. And just to labor the point that Jared mentioned, you won't have heard from Matt the artist for some time. He's been very quiet on the server. He is treating this with such a sense of pride. He's the combination of him and the work that Mark are doing to deliver this generative, which I can't tell you how complex it is to create a generative with the intent of making it look like hand-drawn one-of-one art. He's totally determined to make it seem like what is produced by the cloning machine is effectively what we referred to earlier on a call as kind of a village of 9,272 kind of very individual characters that, yes, will belong to these factions, but feel totally unique. So it's very, very, very exciting. I honestly, I was on a call with Matt earlier going through the Umps collection, and I was pointing on the screen. This is really overhyping it now, but pointing on the screen to him at the goosebumps that I had on my arm, that I was that excited about kind of flashing through the collection. So yeah, it's if we're doing our job right, if we've done our job right by mint date or reveal date, I just can't see how this isn't going to be something that makes a real stir in the space. And for me, to be perfectly honest, fuck all the other utility. There will be a lot, but in the days and weeks after the launch, I really hope that all people are talking about is kind of, as Jared said, resetting of the expectations around generative generative art PFPs. And actually,
Kind of
sorry,
answer. So go ahead.
I was going to say, actually, just talking about like a very specific type of utility, you can kind of imagine what the value of a set of characters, which each kind of have their unique personality, yet are kind of pinned back to kind of a core foundational underlying brand of the Weirdos and Weirdiverse might have. And that, I'm not saying too much there, I don't think, but and that is why we're taking the discussions around the kind of legal, the intellectual property, and the like commercial rights so seriously, to make sure that future owners of these characters, these beautiful cartoon, unique individual characters with their unique descriptions and their unique the way that they look and their belonging to factions, to make sure that collectors have the perfect opportunity and are enabled to use those characters in whatever way they want, to elevate that character and the core Weirdos brand itself. So
I think what you're also doing here, Jack, is answering two of the questions out there, which I was about to pose, but I think we can wrap this up. So Jersey Slacker asks, I read that the cloning event is 9272 clones. In the current landscape, where it's been a bit tougher for 10K projects to mint out and not instantly fall below mint price, how do you feel about launching with that size of set? And also, Rixie Hex asks something similar, which is, how do you plan to retain your community during and post-release? What's your backup plan if we don't mint out? Or what's your plan if the floor price during minting goes lower than the mint price? We all know that the market's kind of bearish this past few months. I think you've answered it with the way that we're building towards this. It's been a very, very slow, organic process for months in the making. This is not something that's just spun up with a view to hiring a Fiverr artist, getting some tokens out there, and running off with 0.8 or 0.1 or 0.05 or 0.2 Ethereum, and that's the last you hear from us. This has been a very, very long-baked concept from Ghost Breath, Matt, our amazing, talented, award-winning artist. The collection is absolute. From what I've seen so far, the collection is absolutely amazing. It's amazing. I have absolutely every confidence that, even considering the state of the world today, the recent bearish sentiment in the NFT market, that we're setting a different standard for how generative collections will be viewed, how people will feel when they get their collection, what they'll want to do with it. I genuinely believe that people will be changing their PFPs to a weirdo clone. That is the biggest thing that I can say. People collect NFTs and don't change their PFP because they've got an identity, they've got something which they carry through. Maybe they're an OG Bored Ape, maybe they're a Doodle or a tier project. I genuinely believe that you're going to start seeing weirdo clones as PFPs throughout Web3 when we mint, when we go live. And that will be the biggest testament to the whole project. Everything that comes after it will fade into second and secondary place in considering the value of this project, because this PFP is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And I can say that even though I'm biased and I'm here to take the project and announce its progress. It's incredible.
I'm just looking at our PFPs that the three of our PFPs that we're using today at the top of this AMA, and some of the ones that I saw this morning are beyond what we're looking at here as our PFP. So I'm kind of very confident that the in the generative cloning collection.
Don't you two state members talk down to Charles? Like he's fine. He's fine, mate.
I just to kind of address some of those questions though, for like fully head on. I don't think that we would be doing our job particularly well though if we weren't considering some of the kind of the scenarios that were raised there. Not minting out, getting to a position where we weren't we would never want to get into a position that we weren't confident that we would sell out this collection. I just to kind of, I don't know if you guys have got the background, but I was, kind of one of the advisors on the Creeps project and up until the mint, and I was having conversations with one of the founders, Joe, on the day of the mint, and he said, that was also launched in a very choppy market. I remember having the call with him, and he said they've got they actually accidentally over allocated their cream list, their whitelist count more than their actual collection, and they took some steps afterwards. Like, you can rest assured we're definitely not going to do that. We will not allocate more cream list spots than there are available places. But in the conversation with Joe on that day, he said he was in a position where he did not know whether the mint or the number of people that exercise their right to mint their whitelist would be at 30% or 100%. That's really stuck with me. That kind of the fear of getting to mint day and not knowing whether we were going to end up in that situation has really kind of very much impacted me. Very happy story for Creeps. They sold out. It's a fantastic collection, art banged, etc., etc. For us, we're not taking chances anywhere near to that level. And if you'd listened to me on these AMAs before, you would have heard me talking about our tracking and the level of analysis that we're doing behind the scenes. So the team is working incredibly hard to bring in new members to this community, to work out the mechanics of the store, to excite people in the community with the art, playing the Wandom games, showing them the Genesis art, building this community, and that's all driving towards this key number for us, these cream listed active milkers, which we find incredibly funny. But this number that we're tracking, the number of people who have a cream list spot and have been active and engaging within the community in the last 7, 3 and 1 days. So we're tracking that very closely, and we can see that number rising steadily to a very healthy position to the date that we haven't yet announced, but we're tracking for a mint date. So if all of those things go continue to go even in a straight line towards that mint date, we should be in a very good position, and we're convinced that we've got some things over the coming weeks that are going to improve that position markedly. The partnerships work that we're doing really steps up. We're speaking to some very high tier alpha groups over the coming weeks. We've got tier 1 partnerships lined up also over the coming weeks. So we're actually in fact ramping up, and you can kind of see if you look at yesterday we had our first steady state growth, more than 1,000 new people joining the server in a single day yesterday. On Sunday, I think Jared will correct me, sorry, on Saturday we hit 9,000 on Twitter. On yesterday we went through 10,000. The hard work that the team's put in, doing it the tough way, building organically, not paying influencers, relying on the art, continuing to deliver great collector experiences, build a community that's fun and not grinding. All of those things right now seem to be coming together into kind of this really lovely natural network effect, which means that it doesn't look like it's going to be a straight line growth to the mint date. It looks like we're going to continue to kind of grow and at a kind of much an accelerated rate, let's say. So I've waffled a bit there, but the answer to the mint question is we would be stupid if we weren't concerned in the current market. The team is doing everything that they can to make sure that we don't end up in that position, and tracking our data and numbers to the level that we shouldn't end up in that position. I would be extremely, extremely surprised if we did.
I totally agree with everything, and it's phenomenal, just to blow some smoke up his arse, how close to the numbers Jack is. But here's a question, and I mean, this is almost for the guys on stage, but like, someone put their hand up and tell me, name name a name some projects where there's been more steps. I'm not talking about a closed Discord. That's a very different matter. But where there's been what in real life we call friction from a commercial point of view. Name some projects where there's been potentially more friction. That has also been as fun as we hope this server is, because people are joining, entering competitions, playing poker, guessing rat butt. They are then going onto the website to milk a rat, and then they're having to wait for the farm shop to open before they have the requisite amount of rat milk to exchange for a cream list. Now, everyone here is pretty far down the funnel. They're listening to the three of us answer your questions. But at the top of the funnel, if you present that all to everyone, that most people would probably say, "Oh God, I'd rather just click a button on Twitter and cross my fingers that I'm going to win a whitelist in a project that I've never heard about and don't really care about." So I think, the reason I think it's kind of worth really pausing and thinking about what that means, because Jack's point is such a good one. Every single project looks at where it is sourcing its community members and potential collectors from, and they put a percentage against every one of them. If you hand out 200 whitelists today to a relatively unknown, poorly organized alpha server and pat yourself on the back because you think you've just got 200 customers, you are an absolute fool. What you've done is you've been lazy. You haven't qualified your collector. There is no collector profiling there, and very few people really value something if it's given away too cheaply or for free. So I guess the summary is, we're making you. We'd like to think in a really fun way, but we're making you work quite hard for your rat milk and for your cream list spots. But to give you the reassurance, what we know that means is that our probabilities, we'd like to think, are pretty high. If someone is in a farm shop in a short window of time, spending their hard-earned rat milk on cream list spots, we feel that they are going to mint, and we feel that they are our ideal collectors. It's a different matter for people that are winning competitions on Twitter. We are very realistic, and there is a different probability against those people, much lower, obviously. So yeah, just to jump in and pay Jack a compliment, but also just to kind of really hammer home that every project goes through the same challenges, but we'd like to think that we're going about it in a very different way.
Yeah, I'll build on that as well. I mean, I'm really influenced by a number of recent projects that have gone very, very well, admittedly, and their floor price, if going well is the definition of success, has been phenomenal post-mint. But the grind to get on the whitelist for that project has been absurd, to the point of it being really not fun. Not fun to be part of a community that is performing for that whitelist spot. They're acting in a certain way to achieve the thing that's going to deliver them wealth and moon and rocket ships. And we're really conscious of not creating a server that is just about the grind. In fact, we, all of us on the stage, we detest the grind. Okay, we've created an economy which rewards engagement for sure, but the aim of doing that is to create a sense of fun and community and lead with that, and hopefully in the process of being in a place where you're enjoying yourself, the cream list just happens naturally as a result of being here. And the barrier to being on that cream list, we want to be relatively low. We want you to be engaged. We want to know that people who are minting the project want to be here, like what we're doing, like the sound of it, like the look of it when they get the sneak peeks. They get a sense that this is going places from every signal that we've given them, from what Jack's been just describing and Kerno as well. But without any engagement, you can't really measure where you're at. You can't really get a sense of how many people are going to come to the pre-sale unless you start tracking some of this information. And rat milk and cream lists and the way that we track the data behind that has really given us a good sense of who's interested, who's giving us the signals that they really want to be part of this to mint it. And not just mint it, but the feedback and the testimonials in the community as well around what we're building. Again, this is blowing smoke at my own arse here, but what we're building, we're being told is special, is being told is different, and being told is more fun. And honestly, it's one of our key mantras. We talk about it behind the scenes all the time. We really want this to be the most fun server in Web3. Just the ultimate banner statement. If this is the most fun place in Web3, I am convinced that the project will be aligned to the same success that everyone is asking us about in this AMA.
I've just thought of something which I'm going to claim now. There's how many? There's 131 people on this AMA. Rat milk is a proof of fun.
Yeah.
Can I have that? I thought that was more underwhelming than I thought it would be when it came out. Excellent, thanks, man.
Yeah, if we turned on the mic for everyone, all 130, yeah, you'd have a
just
a big
like
cheer,
whooping.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
But it is kind of like to be totally open, as Cheadle said, when we get a message, whether that's in a channel, one of the main channels, or somebody raising a ticket, which can be a super boring thing to do, and they're telling us that that we're joking with them, and they're telling us this is feels different and it feels fun. That's kind of why we're here. We're trying to bottle that. We're trying to create that essence, that sentiment in everything that we're doing, and kind of sustain that into the brand beyond the mint. But we can't say what specifically those things are. But what you can expect from us is us doing things that haven't been done before, doing things differently, and bringing this sense of fun that is intrinsic to all of the art and all of the descriptions, and is poking fun at ourselves and the world for being weird or for criticizing weirdness. I think we are doing that. I got it on my soapbox again there, but I'll be quiet.
I'm going to change the pace just for a minute, and then we can go back to a couple more serious questions from the chat. But we did have one from Cover 7 who asks us, how fast can a hippopotamus run? So I'm going to quickly throw that to the community in the lodge. The first 5 answers in the lodge that give me the exact correct answer for how fast a hippopotamus can run will get 2 mils of rat milk. So sorry to the mod team who are going to have to dish out that milk right now. But if you are a mod and you're listening to the call, you need to jump into the lodge and manage this. So I've just created mayhem. But the first 5 people that can answer exactly, and there is only one answer, and it's my answer. So I don't care if you have a different answer from the internet. It's my answer. It's a bit like if you're from the UK, there's an old program when we were kids called Shooting Stars, and it was like, name a motorway, and someone would say the M6. Wrong. It's the M1. I have a number. If it's not my number, I don't care that you have a different number. I hope that helps you to understand the rules of this game. Put the answer in the chat. The first 5 that are correct. Who is around from our mod team? Because I actually do need to say the answer at some point so that someone can actually get it right. There's loads of correct answers. We're fine. So you can have it in either good old British speed, or you can have it in international speed. The correct answer is 30 miles per hour or 48 kilometers per hour. And there's a bunch of them that have Googled it very quickly. So congratulations to all of you. We'll get the mods to pick out the 5 first. Yeah, there we go. We've got some peen emojis. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate everything you do for us. There we are. 5 peens, 5 winners, 2 mils. Congrats.
So it's not general knowledge. This quiz is basically mind reading. That's what you've just
correct.
said.
In fact, I'm thinking on the spot here that I'm going to have a mind reading entire mini game on Friday. Where
I like it.
In fact, there is actually a really good game here that we can play another time. But if anyone in the crowd has played Loddon Thinks, just drop it in the chat in the lodge. Basically, if the 3 of us on stage were playing, I would ask, if it's better if you've got more as well, but let me say, I'd ask Kerno a question. And actually, we need 4 people for this, but let's say I ask Kerno a question like, how many bits of cereal do you get in a standard family box of Rice Krispies?
I know that.
And you have to guess how close to his answer you are. So you're not going for the actually correct answer. You're going for what you think he will give as the answer.
Nice.
So you're partly assessing how good he is at guessing these sorts of things, right? So it's all well and good if you've got the actual correct answer and you've Googled it, but we just need his answer, right? So that's Loddon Thinks. And I was actually thinking about building this out as a mini game. I'm just going to ask 20 questions in Milk Games on Friday, and my answer is the correct answer. It's going to really piss people off, but it might work. It might work. Tell me if it's an awful idea, but I'm down with it. So a hippo is faster than any human. I was told this. I was very fortunate to go on safari for my honeymoon, and I was told that by the people running it, that they'll outrun you. They'll eat you if they want you. So don't even try. So there you go. Hippos are rapid.
They kill more people than anything else, don't they? In the safari terms.
Oh, they're terrifying. They're terrifying. I was told as well that they if you're in a boat, sometimes they can flip the boat and crocs will eat you. They'll work in tandem with crocs to kill you if you're in a boat. They're bastards. So
you suspect that level of craftiness from a croc, not from a hippo.
Yeah.
They've got great PR, hippos, don't
they? Great PR. It's I mean, the sharks need to get on board with that, don't they?
Yeah, I should stop flooding hippos, shouldn't I? It's terrible for the hippo collection.
Killing at least 500 people a year. Hippos are some of the deadliest animals in Africa. 500 people.
Yeah, they don't look much, but if you think about it, if they're quick as well, which they are, and powerful. I mean, name a more iconic duo.
Yeah.
Right. Got a couple of quick ones, and then I'll see what else I've missed in the chat, and then perhaps we wrap things up. So another one from Jerlaka, which was, I'm new to the project, coming from Megapont. Shout out to Megapont. We love Megapont. Curious what role or utility any of the Genesis NFTs have from Series 1, 2, or 3. I think we've said this in public, but I don't know if you guys want to think about that question.
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell people about the free mint. So there'll be one free mint per Genesis Weirdo, with the snapshot date to be announced in the future. The one free clone.
What we've said, I think. Yeah, let's keep it at that for now.
I guess the other thing that's worth saying. Yeah. I guess the other thing that we've been very open about is that in creating the Weirdiverse beyond the mint, main characters are always going to be those, from that set of 412. So, they'll
take a significant role in being front and center of that Weirdoverse. Yeah.
And we have got a track record of thanking people that have supported us early on. I think that's that's self-evident in the way that we've structured Series 2 and Series 3 and some elements of the generative mint as well. So I think that's for anyone that is joining and isn't aware, that I think that's worth kind of pointing out without giving away too much.
Cool. Is there anyone from the crowd that wants to jump up and ask any questions before I throw it back to the AMA questions channel? No one's got their hand up at the moment. That's fine. I mean, we've got either. Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think only I will find this amusing, but Jared and I jumped on an AMA yesterday and in another server, and it turned out that I was supposed to be interviewing Jared. The hosts were expecting us to kind of do an AMA ourselves, so I'm happy to ask some questions if no one else is going to ask questions. I think there's some points that
you're good at it now.
No, I don't think I did a particularly good job. I felt a bit shilly towards the end, but it was very difficult.
You're just lining up like tap-ins for yourself. You're like, here's a challenging question, guys. I'll take that one.
Yeah, I think if you're shilling to yourself, you can also forgive yourself though, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions, which I think we've actually answered from Jack's kind of inspirational speech from earlier. But Swish asked us that they'd love to understand how the team came up with this way of engaging in obtaining milk and creamless spots and why we all decided to go down this route. They say the server is one of my favorites and love the innovation here. Just curious for more context. So who came up with rat milk? Who came up with creamless spots? And who's the brainchild?
So Ghost Breath, Matt, the artist, had. I'm pretty sure I've never actually asked him this direct question, and I keep meaning to. But as Jack says, we've got him locked in a cage in a prison working very, very hard on the art. I think. So some of the very early conversations that I had, and I'm not taking any credit here, some of the very early conversations that I had with Ghost Breath were really about distilling the fantastic universe that was clear in his head, but very kind of convoluted when it came out. Very, very clear in terms of the art, but from a marketing point of view, it's very difficult to communicate what was going on paper. So he and I had many, many lengthy conversations, and I'm pretty sure this is the reference. I suspect the idea for rat milk was planted by an episode of The Simpsons, which is a very, very early episode. I think I don't know, it's probably the first few seasons, where I believe it's the mafia are running a rat milk farm out of Springfield Elementary School. Now, if I was a betting man, that I would place money that was the seed that started everything for Matt, Ghost Breath. However, he is a sponge for everything pop culture, animation, cartoons, so it could have come from somewhere else. One thing I would add, we did not know. We genuinely can't take credit here and say that the rat milk economy you see today was the rat milk economy that we envisaged 4 or 5 months ago. And that's really kind of credit to everyone listening on this call and everyone that's participated in the server, because we are very much responding to your behaviors in a both in a subjective and qualitative way. We genuinely share your comments, good and bad, behind the scenes, and when we react to those. But we are very, very close to the data as well, and we genuinely believe that as the numbers get larger and larger, the challenge of rewarding and encouraging without feeling too sleazy or salesy the right type of behavior gets increasingly complex. And so rat milk has probably started as a quirky little idea that might feature in some way in the Weirdiverse, but it's become an economic system, but it's also become an incentivization mechanism for us as a team.
I guess I'd add 2 things. We kind of knew we'd be able to use that to get the data from rat milk collecting and interactions to get a really good view of how well we were doing in kind of our job of creating a super fun server. I would also add, I think I'm laboring this proof of fun thing now that I've kind of staked claim to it, but a lot of what's evolved out of rat milk, as Jared said, has come from the community. It has also come from kind of piss yourself funny, laughing, kind of workshops with the rest of the team, where we've just, the things that we were planning seem so ridiculous that they're just hilariously amusing. And speaking to Matt today, we were talking about some of the characters in the cloning collection, and Matt was kind of harking back to kind of Monty Python and some of the ridiculous scenes in the Holy Grail. Most people here would probably be too young for that. I'm sorry, Jared, I'm going to just mute you. But I think it's just this kind of, we're having so much fun building this collection, building these ideas. I don't think I've laughed more than I did the other day watching the State Channel. Someone in the State Channel suggests that the appropriate speed to be milking the rat was you had to be humming along to the Bee Gees' "Staying Alive" song whilst smashing your mouse. So we're just getting so much joy and laughter from these silly little ideas, which are actually, have a lot of utility as well. And it's just kind of very, very, very natural fun.
Yeah, sort of sometimes have to check myself. 2 months ago, I was working a fairly serious IRL job in finance for a kind of well-known company, actually. And now I'm on calls looking at clones and having peen-length conversations with my uni pals about the clones and Googling animal butts. And it all work. It's ridiculous. But we're getting a huge kick out of everything. It's the peen jokes are amazing, but at the same time, the whole project's just been a total joy. But the community are making it so as well. I like to think that we're setting the tone for what we want people to be talking about and getting excited about. But I mean, we've got an amazing collection of people in this space, in this server, and it feels different. We've all been in loads of Discord servers. I joined this space in January 21. It's not an OG. Nothing can be if you're only a year into it, 14 months into it. But I've been in a lot of Discord servers in that time. Spent a lot of time in a lot of Discord servers, and they just don't feel quite like this. The energy and the enthusiasm and the positivity and the kindness, the weirdness, the fun, it's all there. We don't have toxicity yet. Touch wood, we maintain that lack of toxicity. We've just got a great, positive, bright, funny, intelligent bunch of weirdos out in the audience, but out in the lodge and out in the wider weirdoverse. It's been awesome. And that's why I feel bullish. That's why I think there's something special brewing here. I think we've got the right people looking at us. We've got the right team working on all the fundamentals of the cloning project and the Mint Beyond and the utility and the roadmap. It's super, super exciting times for all of us. I'm just going to back to I don't know if you guys on stage have any more time, but I've made questions channel, so just going to run it back for a minute. Let me see. I can't pronounce that name at all, but sorry to ask, is there any chance that the collab piece could be included in your ecosystem? The collab pieces, that would be amazing. Thank you for your consideration. And if it would not be too much trouble, would it be at all possible to grant our Skull Weirdo a name, pretty please? Thank you. Wow, good question.
It is a good question. So the question is whether the Weirdos of Web3 collab artwork are going to feature in the Weirdoverse. There are currently no plans for that. Those pieces. So the Weirdos of Web3 collection is actually something that we don't really want to die. I'm currently speaking to probably 2 or 3 projects that really, really big projects that have really helped define the space as a whole, about some collaborative kind of initiatives that could add more artwork to that collection. When we set that up, we wanted to achieve a few things. We wanted to give ourselves the opportunity to kind of have collabs that weren't just about basically collabs that allowed the artwork to take center stage. I think that's a summary, but also just to do things a little bit differently, a little bit weirder, and actually for it to feel like a relationship, the process of a collab rather than just a transaction. We've alluded to this on the call already. Ghost Breath is incredibly busy on the artwork, and so we just haven't been able to run or to factor in his talent into as many of the collabs as possible. So we're going to run more and more of these, and we will continue post mint. Certainly my intention to spearhead a lot of partnerships with artwork. So it's a long-winded way about addressing your question. The purpose of that collection is really to show our admiration and respect for other artists, other communities, other projects, other teams, it's never actually been for those characters to feature in the kind of core collection. And other than the fact that it sits as in a different OpenSea collection, the artwork actually there's multiple versions of the same piece of artwork, and so it would be quite difficult to shoehorn those characters into the kind of core story. Which one of the 10 humans or the 5 Skullpunk mashup pieces of art would we choose, and how would the other collectors feel? So I think we've made it clear in our communication that they'll obviously get you a free mint, which is fantastic. But we've hinted without any form of commitment that there might be future utility as well. So great pieces to have, but they are collectibles at the end of the day, which has some short-term utility in the form of a free mint, but not part of the core collection. Sorry, no.
MBD in the chat says, question, I was going to watch F1's Drive to Survive on the train commute home, but instead I'm listening to you. Thanks for the info, but can anyone on the panel tell me what happens in the first episode? Thanks. I can. Hamilton wins the first race of the season. Only just beats Verstappen, actually. And there's a bit of a focus from memory on the new rivalry in McLaren between Lando Norris and the new boy, of course, Daniel Ricciardo, who beats him in qualifying but doesn't beat him in the race, so it sets up the niggle for the rest of the season. I cannot wait to watch every other episode. Unfortunately, my wife keeps falling asleep during episode 2, so I'm stuck only a few minutes ahead of you. What else have we got? Agent says, go on, sorry.
I don't know what happened there. I was answering if you support tickets, and we started talking about Formula One. Well,
yeah, we did. Sorry, mate. Yeah, we're a broad interest Web3 project. We get onto anything here, whatever you want.
When F1 channel in the retreat?
Maybe. Hey, look, we'll take a vote. If everyone wants F1, I can Drive to Survive with the best of them. So yeah, let's bring it. What else we got? Aginator 369, great name. Sorry, you may have covered it already, but mint price hint. Mint price hint is no, not yet. Not yet. Sorry, Aginator.
I think
but we're not far off dropping these things into the public domain. And I don't know, Jack, you were going to speak then, weren't you? I won't talk over you.
Well, I was just going to say, what our intent is to make sure that we end up in a position where the mint is at a very fair price, and knowing what we know about the numbers of expected unique wallets that we hope to have owning the collection after the mint, and the interest that we're creating, that those people that mint, we want them to have plenty of upside if they did choose to sell their Genesis Weirdo, which we can't imagine anyone would ever want to do. We're going to have 9,272 clone weirdos that just are being diamond handed to infinity, I'm sure.
On that note, does anyone remember why we're using the number 9272? If you can drop that in the chat, we'll give you 2 mils. First 3 people that get that right, we'll drop 2 mils into the lodge. So it's got to be in the lodge, and you've got to get the exact right answer. Not you, Lewin. You are on everything. You win all the games as well. Okay, so some of our OG game players know that 9272 is a weird number. If you Google weird number, it will give you the mathematical definition of a weird number, but I don't have that to hand without derailing the chat completely. So yeah,
abundant and non-specific, abundant and non. I can't remember what the second bit is.
We'll get it right for our future AMAs. Something to self-scout and work on. Hey, I think this might be the final one from me, unless anyone's got anything else they want to bring up. But Shader, one of our amazing mods, has gathered some of the questions from our Chinese lodge, which is a super exciting part of our Weirdoverse. I'm just going to pass over the first one because I think we kind of touched on the roadmap and everything in the direction of the project. But he also says, we understand one of the most important missions is to build one of the best communities over the NFT world, correct? And we've received lots of feedback, but we don't really know if we're saying this for real or it's just for the purpose of getting the cream list. So I think what he's trying to say is people are giving us amazing feedback, but are they just performing because they want to be on the cream list, or are they do they genuinely feel like this is different? So I get that, you know, you're in a place where the project team's visible and you can say cool things to them and you might get cream listed off being kind or funny or different, you know, and we're conscious of that as well. But people can be worried if we focus too much on the community, which we've seen other projects do, due to poor minting or post-mint performance, the community's turned out not to be united at all and it all just falls apart. So I think, because what are your thoughts on this? So I think the question is, have we built a genuine community? Do we think we built something genuine here? Or is everybody just performing, hoping that price and number goes up, and if number goes down, everyone's going to turn toxic, leave, go to shit? And that's a fair question. I think it's something that comes up a lot. Are people here because they want to invest and speculate in a token that just goes only up, or are they actually getting some fun out of this, irrespective of the price? I don't personally, before anyone else answers, I don't think you can in Web3. I don't think you can decouple the two because everyone's buying something that can go up or down in price. You know, there's a secondary market that's immediate and active, and the market will tell you what they think of your project, whether you like it or not. You can't control how much people beyond the mint want to engage beyond what you continue to deliver. So my take on that is it's probably a bit of both. If I'm being completely honest, I'm sure there's people out there that fit into both categories, that are just here to flip, they're just here to grind, they're just here to get cream list, and they just want to buy their token, hope it goes up in price, sell it, make some money, move on to the next project. Every single Web3 project will have people like that. I mean, for God's sake, Pranks, he bought 1,000 Bored Apes and flipped them all. He's an idiot for doing it because look at the price of Bored Apes. So it's not necessarily a bad thing in itself as well. It's worth saying that if we're building a community that is all focused on number go up, we've got a problem. But if we're building a community that has a genuine organic core to it, and from the conversations I've had with the OG group, being here from the beginning and knowing quite a few of those guys and having lots of conversations with them over that time, I think we have built something genuine. A lot of us were here without knowing what the long-term big vision was and what the big plan was. We just vibed with Matt's work and Matt's art and loved the story, loved the Genesis collections, and loved them just for what they were, not for what they could give us in the future, not for the fact that if we hold this, they're going to be worth 100 ETH one day. It was never about that. It was, you know, it's about, I love the art. I want to pay homage to the art in a place where other people also feel the same way. And okay, maybe that starts to change as we start focusing on a big generative club event. But my take on that is, I think we've got a bit of everybody here. I think the vibes are fantastic. I do accept that there's always going to be a degree of hopium in the market where people really, really want to build something in the expectation of the price moving north, but they don't necessarily have to be a problem. Don't know what anybody else thinks on that point.
Only other thing that I would say to add that is that nobody's doing anybody any favors in this server if you make out that the community is an amazing place to hang out and be if it isn't. That you're much more likely to be rewarded with rat milk and get on the cream list if you jump into the support channels and tell us that we're doing something wrong, or that you spotted something that's imperfect, or that you don't like. Those are the things that are much more likely to get rat milk. I don't want a million support requests coming in making shit up now because I need to sleep at some point. But giving us, giving us feedback that can help us improve is definitely a much more effective way of getting rat milk. So don't pull any punches, tell us what we're doing wrong, ask us difficult questions, and that's the way that we'll build like a strong community. And we don't want to hear it's amazingly fun in here if it isn't. You'll end up in milk jail or rat milk anonymous channel if that's the case.
have rehabilitated our first patient in Rat Milk Anonymous as well. So if you are begging, we will send you there. There is a 69-point state endorsed plan for rehabilitation of excessive rat milk begging in the community. It's proven to work 100% of the time.
We can't make promises about the future full price on the project, but can make very, very strong promises about the efficacy of our rehabilitation program for rat milk addicts.
Yeah, this is rehabilitation advice, not financial advice. Absolutely. Shader, you're on the stage. I didn't realize. Hi, dude. How you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How's it going?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Hey, Colonel. Nice to meet you. First time talking with you in voice. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like all the questions were answered well, and I will make sure to forward this to whoever asked the questions. Thanks that so much. And I also think it's worth to bring this up. Like I have received many positive feedbacks about our great community, especially the Chinese Lodge. Many people joined a month ago before we having this Chinese lodge and felt kind of unsupportive. But now this channel is very strong. So I also want to say thanks to all the other Chinese moderators for building up this channel together. Yeah, just some feedbacks because all the questions have been already answered. So yeah, that's it from me.
And thank you from us. It was an interesting decision. I think the guys would agree to set up the Chinese language channel. It wasn't originally on our. It wasn't that it was. We made a decision to not do it at any point. But when we did, it was a decision we made very quickly when we realised that we were having some incredibly high quality projects chase us and some fantastic alpha groups. And so, we were incredibly appreciative for a couple of community members that stepped up and offered to translate some of our FAQs, and we quickly set up a channel. And then, yeah, we managed to attract and bring on, really dedicated people like yourself, Shadle. So we're, thank you back at you. We're incredibly appreciative.
Yeah, the fun fact is that the reason why I initially want to join as a mod was because I saw this Chinese channel, but I didn't see any Chinese moderator. So I feel like I want to volunteer to be a Chinese mod, to basically doing some very basic jobs like translating some stuff, and eventually I became a mod, which is very good. Yeah, I like that.
You're doing a great job, mate. And I got an interesting piece of Walther for you. Did you know your PFP is also Joe, the founder of Creep's favorite
Oh, really?
Genesis Weirdo? Yeah.
I won that. I won that during the what's that called? Like on February 14th, like the 1,000 of people the raffle.
Such a good one, man. Mister, right? Mister.
Yeah,
do
Mister.
Do you know the reference?
No.
Interesting. It's from Fantastic Mr. Fox, a book by Roald Dahl, who is a Welsh/Norwegian children's writer. So he did things like, come on guys, you can help me here. My brain's gone dead. The Twits, Witches, BFG. So it's a homage to one of the greatest children's writers of all time. So that's a great PFP. That very jealous.
That sounds far from me, but yeah, I like it. I like it.
Fair play. Worth a read. Buy yourself the book, Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's a short. Well, that really killed the conversation, didn't it? Fucking hell.
Should I say something?
I don't know. I think I think Cheel may have been rugged. Beedle, any questions? Any more? He's full on been rugged.
Yeah, I don't know if he had any more questions, but
Guys, my sound's rugging here. I'm really sorry. Can you hear me okay?
We've got
We
questions
can now,
in the
yes.
audience, maybe. Oh, yes. JHS, I'm inviting them up. Did we speak to JHS yesterday? Another AMA. We invited JHS up.
Evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry, yes. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very well, very well.
I have a very simple question. Are you guys going to bring in some utility to the amount of rat milk that we are collecting? I mean, right now, I am collecting it just because Austin is on the top. He's way on the top, just as an aim to get there. But like when you already collect cream list, right? If you could bring in some more utility towards the rat milk, it would make it more interesting. That was just a suggestion, maybe not a question.
It's definitely on our mind, and has been for a very long time. The short, medium, and long term utility of rat milk. We're not saying too much, but we intend it to continue to be a valuable unit of exchange in the Weirdiverse. So yeah. Keeping tight-lipped.
We are. I think I could frame it back at you as a question. What type of lunatics build a rat milk economy and then throw it all down the drain 5 minutes later?
Yeah.
No, but thank you for your question. It is a topic of conversation that, Jack mentioned, how long we're staying awake for, and I think the answer is more, definitely more than 0 hours, but creeping up on 24 hours. Some days it feels like, and an awful lot of that is thinking, at the highest level about value delivery and the parts of the art, the team, the technology, and this crazy, kooky, weird little economy that we've built is going to play. So, we're thinking very seriously about it.
Yeah, no, all good. I mean, the community is awesome, right? So it's I'm not active there because of the rat milk. I am active there because I like to read guys what they are typing and communicate, right? So rat milk has become probably secondary. I'm saying I'm you can catch me on that, but the community is really awesome. You guys did a great job. I am not been there for a long time, but still I feel that we'll continue that way, hopefully.
Oh, brilliant. That's really lovely to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
And there's kind of like a kudos utility just from being top of the rat milk league, as you mentioned, Austin. We know he's been cheating, but we just don't know how to catch him. We know Humble's taking excessive bribes. We don't know if it's in Ethereum and in stacks. We know something's going on. With all the data that we've got, we're sure to catch them out. So it's a very stern warning.
Are you in the top 500, Jack?
Sorry?
Think so.
Sorry, I was just asking Jack where he is in the league, because I've been slipping like every day. Is this sad or is this cool? I've been checking every day. I think I'm 460th now. I was at one stage I was 200 and something, and it's going to become a source of stress soon. How about yourself, JHS? Where are you on the league? How much do you hold?
I think I have 71, but I bought 3 cream lists, so I spent 31 on that.
You're a rat milk whale. That's why you've asked the question. You're ready to show off.
At least I am a whale somewhere,
right? Brilliant. No, you're gonna enjoy life after Mint. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have no doubts about it. Thank you. Yeah.
By the way, guys, I said that we were not in the business of issuing financial advice earlier. However, I have just received a 0.6 ETH offer on Spike, my Series 2 Genesis weirdo, and I'm deeply insulted. So no offense, Shark Attack 1925 of OpenSea fame, but your 0.6 your 0.6 ETH offer get wrapped up and get fucked.
Definitely, OpenSea need that to support that feature, right? Just a big middle finger,
big no
emoji response. Yeah.
It's a shame you've wrapped Weath for that and everything, but it's a no from me. Good luck with another Genesis at 0.6. Have at it. My sound's back. Sorry, I was rugged by my internet, so I'm on my phone. I can hear everything. But I think we were wrapping up. I think we're quite close. There are a couple of final questions in the AMA channel if anyone is scrolling down it right now. This was a really interesting one. Oren said, "Hi, I really like your project, but to be honest, I don't have much free time. Do I still have a chance to get a cream list without spending too much time on the server or milking a rat?" The short answer is yes. I think that was one of the things that I touched upon, but I hope the guys feel this way as well. We really don't want this to just be a sit on server, grind whitelist, collect as many tokens as you can because you've got the time or you've been able to farm this out to a professional engagement farm somewhere else and pay for someone else to sit online and click for rat milk. We want everyone who likes this collection to be able to obtain a cream list. As long as you're tracking what we're doing and you're here and you're already in the server, we think you've got an excellent chance of being on the cream list by virtue of already being here, being engaged. We don't want to make that initial spot difficult beyond showing us some interest in the project. Okay, so it's not about going through a ridiculous number of hoops. I can't remember which project it was. I think it might be Invisible Friends, where you had to buy merch as part of one of their cream list, whitelist opportunities. I don't think everyone had to do that, but there were some things where you had to go through some pretty hardcore steps just to get to a whitelist, and we don't want that. Okay, we might do some cool and interesting things along the way where the people who are really creative or arty or musical get the chance to earn additional spots, but the first spot we want there to be a fair opportunity for anyone.
Yeah, and to make that,
we had a hand up then, guys. Sorry, I'm just going to see if I can. I don't know if you need to do that, Nick.
Oh yeah, we've got Oren from the question originator. Let's.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Oren.
Hey. Thank you very much for your answer, first of all. And yeah, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I own 2 businesses, and you actually point the problem with that is I don't want to grind the server. I wish I had time to milk the rat, but I don't. And I really like to join your project.
I was just going to say, to give you a very real example. I'm not sure how to pronounce. I'm going to call you Oren. Is that correct?
That's fine. No worries.
Tell me the right way. I hate getting people's names wrong. I've got a very basic one, but
with the right accent, it's Oren.
Oren. Okay, so sorry about that. So let me give you a very real example. So you can come into the server, you can verify your wallet. That's 2 mils in the bank.
It's already done.
If you're in one of the factions, they are collaborating to work out the precise amount of rat milk. The precise amount of clicks to get the maximum rat milk. So you're going to get 4 or 5 mils if you did that. So you'd be on kind of 6 or 7. I gave away in a game of Wandom, the Wandom quiz the other morning. There's several people on that quiz who were getting kind of over the course of say 30, 40 minutes playing a quiz, we're getting 3-4 mils each. So you can get to the point where you're you're getting to the 10, 11, 12 mil range very, very easily with, in that example, that would be 45 minutes of fun, proof of fun. Pushing this hard now. 45 minutes proof of fun, and you'd be in a position where hopefully you had an amazing experience, seen some cool art, potentially made some new friends, laughed at some peens. So it doesn't have to be it shouldn't feel grindy. Between now and the mint, if you popped in every now and again, I really think that the intent is that this is calibrated to make sure that you would both have fun and get your creamless spot.
And when the store will be open again?
The
store
will be open.
Yeah, I understand. I have to use the milk to buy the
Possibly today.
Possibly today. All right.
Well,
From some reason, I got lucky and I have 33 ml in my wallet. Or after I connect to your website, I see 33.
Very nice.
I think that might be a current bug going on.
I think we found a bug actually, guys.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Everyone's got
Really?
33 mils on the website right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually speaking to
Everyone's
Matt.
got 33 mils, and the milk bot's broken as well. So we're having a good technical time. It feels a bit like, again, going back to Monty Python, all the limbs are coming off and it's all just a scratch. But we are going to fix it. We're going to go and dive off this AMA in a moment and start working on this stuff. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
I got happy for a second. And I would like to add my concern about this same subject. Will that bring us a lot of paper hands if it will be easy to get the cream list?
Yeah, we had this question on Monday as well, Oren, and I think our answer then was we're going to make it feel like it would be a poor decision to paper hand a clone weirdo. It doesn't really mean that by virtue of making it more accessible to be on the cream list than perhaps some projects that people are going to cherish that NFT more, less, or differently. From my opinion, it's really about how good our generative cloning event is going to be. I think we want people to be engaged, and we want to reward that engagement with a cream list without it seeming grindy. We want it to be fun. We want it to be entertaining and engaging. Beyond that, whether people hold or sell will be down to the quality of the collection and how we've delivered to this point and our reputation for what we've delivered in this space, what we pledge we're going to continue to deliver in this space. If people want to sell their NFT and provide liquidity and secondary sales, that's fine. I think it's a separate point to whether or not people are going to hank the project. That's unrelated to the difficulty of obtaining cream list, in my opinion. I think we can prove with our existing track record, the generative coming up, the cloning event, and the plans beyond it, that keeping hold of your NFT will be a good thing and a desirable thing that people will have FOMO about and will want to buy from you if it's listed on the open market. That's kind of my take anyway. I don't know if anyone's got any other views on that.
I see. All right, I'm very satisfied from all the answers. I'm all in. I'll try my best to milk that rat as much as I can once every 2 days, right? I wish I couldn't teach one of my kids to do that for me. That could be helpful.
That's a good point. I've got 3 kids. I should get them.
Yeah, I also
intensively farming on the rat.
Does it matter how many clicks?
Good question. Good question. The short answer is it does matter how many clicks. We're not going to tell you how many clicks. But
I managed to do 500 plus yesterday, something like that.
Yeah. So we're not saying that more clicks is better. We're not saying less clicks is better. But the number of clicks is important, and it is also worth bearing in mind that sometimes we change the rats. So every time the factions get together and work through their answers and collaborate and figure out how many clicks is optimal for the most number of mils of milk, that's great. But it will only work for a certain period of time, because every now and again we bring a new rat in because the old one gets tired and over milked and tired and needs, it's like the dev sleepy argument. The rat's sleepy. They need their rest, and we've got a whole battalion of rats ready to be milked for their leche de ratus. So we're going to change that, and it does change. The optimum number of clicks is not a set number that you can just roll out and just keep on assuming to be correct in the future. So it'll keep the community on their toes, but it will always have an optimum number. That optimum number will change, and so it's not random. It is really worth saying it isn't random, but each rat likes to be treated slightly differently.
Yeah. I have to tell you, once I finished milking that rat, you had that sense, you just milk a rat, you're a weirdo. I started laughing so hard. I'm like, what the hell? I am weirdo.
Hey, this is it. Maybe that's it. This is the first step.
That makes me so happy.
Weirdo.
There's now thousands of people pissing themselves around the world at the thought of milking a rat on our website. That truly has made my week.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends was making fun of me today that I bought a snail, I bought a duck, I bought a lion. For people that are not familiar with the NFT space. So I am extremely weirdo to them.
Well, let's hope it results in a clone for you as well in a short while. So thanks for
Hopefully. Thank you very much, guys. Good luck.
And I think it's probably time that we call it there. We've been on stage for just coming out to an hour 40 now. So
yeah,
I think we've probably done a really good run here of some of the major community questions and concerns. We are going to come back again on Monday next week, probably Monday and Wednesday. I think this is working really nicely for us. So there's more opportunities as we step forwards into the Weirdoverse to get those questions back around. Hopefully we'll have even more updates and interesting things to share with you next week as well. So stay tuned. Check out all our games. Go back to the announcements channel. Look at what we're doing for the rest of the week. We've got bingo later. I need to go and figure out how I'm going to run that bingo tournament now. So I'm going to step out. But great to talk to you all. Thanks for all the questions, and we'll see you again next week.